Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice's memoir, No Higher Honor, has just come out. It's the last word from Team Bush. President George W. Bush, Vice President Dick Cheney, and Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld have already weighed in on their own books.
CBS News Chief White House correspondent Norah O'Donnell sat down with Rice this week, and in this part of her interview, you'll see they touch on everything from Saddam Hussein to the current presidential race.
I want to get through a number of issues that are in the book, so if I can get some quick responses on this.
Yes.
Did Iraq have weapons of mass destruction?
Iraq had no stockpiles of weapons of mass destruction, but remember that the intelligence report said he had reconstituted his biological and chemical weapons and was doing so with his nuclear weapons.
Did Saddam Hussein have anything to do with 9/11?
From all accounts, Saddam Hussein was not responsible in any way for 9/11.
You and Colin Powell were not invited to Vice President Cheney's house to celebrate the liberation. Why do you think that was?
Oh, it's meant a little tongue-in-cheek. There was a little bit of hubris right after the fall of the statue, and maybe that's
hubris by Vice President Cheney?
Well, by those who had been the longest supporters of the overthrow of Saddam Hussein.
But in 2003, they were celebrating.
It's understandable because people were celebrating, but the fact is the hard work was ahead.
Do you like President Obama?
Of course I do. I have great respect for his team. I don't agree with everything that they've done, and that's obvious. But Americans elect their president, and he's my president too.
Would you vote for him?
I've always said that it's not my business to tell people who I'm going to vote for. I think that that's why we have a secret ballot, but I'm a committed Republican. I think everybody knows that.
So you're not saying that you didn't vote for him?
I've said I am not going there because if I say I did or I didn't, then we get into a discussion of why.
But if you're a proud Republican, you would be willing to say, absolutely, I voted for John McCain and Sarah Palin.
I am a proud Republican, and I think that's well understood, and the implications of that are well understood.
Would you ever seek political office?
I've had my time, and I think it's time to move on to people who have a fresh view on things. But I'm a policy person, not a politician. I'm not interested
in being vice president.
In being vice president.
So if Mitt Romney were to call you and ask you to be his vice president, you would say?
I don't know how much more clearly I can say that politics doesn't appeal to me. It really doesn't.
Herman Cain, he has been accused of sexual harassment. Should that disqualify him?
First of all, he will, I'm certain, answer questions about what transpired. But I wouldn't jump to conclusions about this man or about his past at this point. I think he's an interesting person, and he's certainly stirred up the debate.
Herman Cain predicted that he would be the victim of a high-tech lynching. What do you think of that when you hear that?
I don't care much for incendiary language, and I actually am someone who doesn't believe in playing the race card on either side. I've seen it played, by the way, on the other side quite a lot too, and it's not good for the country. I don't like the race card when people say that people are criticizing President Obama because he's black. I don't like that very much either. He's being criticized because he's president.